Royal Enfield Classic 500 or even the Bullet 500 back in time was something to own. It was a motorcycle that had that emotion and the power to get around. In today's generation, it's not there. You get the 350 or the 650. Here, what I think is the missing part. The QJ SRC 500, a motorcycle that looks like the Royal Enfield 500, and it is a 500, but adds up to the piece of a puzzle. Is it really that? Let's find out. Before we start talking about the design of the QJ SRC 500, let's look at the key. This is the key. I've just opened it up. You can just close it down like this. It's quite a nice key, and with this key you can actually turn on the motorcycle, which is a standard thing that's there. But then this key is useful to open up this box. Then again you can open up the fuel tank lid, which is standard. But then there is one more interesting, that this is lock. This lock is there to put in your stuff. You can actually access it, and with the key this is also there. So that key is useful at multiple places. So if you're going to change the key, बहुत जगह कुछ changes लगने वाला है. Let's look at the design. 15.5 liter का fuel tank, a sloping fuel tank, which looks quite nice. This line follows with the seat line, and this is a single piece seat with a decent amount of cushioning. Quite nice it feels. This is the 500cc motor, or probably the 480cc motor, which gives this beast the power. Actually the torque, not as much power. However, you get a single disc brake at the front, and that is this one. This is about 300 mm, and you get dual channel ABS setup. If you turn on the motorcycle, you will be able to see the halogen setup over here, and the visibility is decent. We'll check it out a little later, but let's look at the meter first. And this is a dual pod digital cluster, which looks quite nice, and you can see there's a wavering going around because LCDs are a little off on camera because they don't show things properly, but from a naked eye it is quite decent, and even in bright sunlight it's quite good. When I press this button once, you can see it changes to miles per hour or miles, and this is how it changes. You get 2 trip meters. There's an odometer on the left, speedometer. This is how the speedometer also fills up. Fuel gauge, right now it's got into reserve by the time I've reached here, so that's also there. Reserve light, telltale lights right below. So dual pod clusters give out decent amount of information, not too much. There's a gear position indicator, and that's the tachometer. On the right you get a kill switch, a hazard button, which is definitely very nice, and then this is the starter button. On the left, this is the high beam switch, and this is the pass light. But then there's a thing that the pass light has been touching when I pull the clutch. So yeah, that is a thing that's there, and I'll show you an example a little later as well. Indicators and a horn. This is a decent horn. I would have expected a little louder horn since it's a 500. Abhi, if I press this, the button actually is so close to the lever here that this action is causing, sometimes when I press this, so high beam lag jata hai, and people think that मैं उन पे flash कर रहा. High beam is also actually decent. Let's see the light quality. देखा गलती से लग रहा है. This is the low beam. This is the high beam. How is the spread? Let me know. Now this motorcycle weighs close to 205 kgs. मतलब वजन तो है थोड़ा बहुत. And it's got a main stand as well. The seat height is at 805 mm. Cushioning is quite nice. Let's sit on the motorcycle and I'll show you how the ergonomics are. Almost popping a wheelie while sitting over here. So for the rider, the foot pegs are a little front set. There's a good amount of space, and when the handlebar moves, there's a good distance between the knee as well. So literally there's no problem at all. The vision is quite nice. You sit very upright, and this is quite a lot comfortable. But what about the pillion? Bibas ji, aa jaiye. I've got Bibas with me over here, and he'll sit as a pillion. देखते कैसा लगता है इनको.
जरूर बैठेंगे हम आपके साथ.
क्या बात है.
क्या बात है.
अभी तो पक्का व्हीली.
नाइस. मजा आ रहा है. काफी गैप है हम दोनों के बीच में.
हाँ, सीट लंबी है, लेकिन कंफर्टेबल है कि नहीं?
कंफर्टेबल मतलब ठीक है. मतलब मुझे लग रहा है कि बहुत ज्यादा कंफर्टेबल भी नहीं है.
हाँ.
इट्स ओके.
लेकिन मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड होगी तो टेंशन नहीं होगा जरा भी.
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. बिल्कुल भी नहीं होगा.
सो फॉर फैमिली गाइस थोड़ा सा दिक्कत हो सकता है. दोस्त लोग हैं तो ठीक है.
गैप लोग हैं तो ठीक है. फैमिली के हिसाब से थोड़ी सी दिक्कत हो सकती है.
यस. ओके, सो वी आर आउट राइडिंग नाउ. The first thing that I notice that is going off the road the moment we start is that the front is really soft. It is very nice, while the rear has a little bit of a bounce back effect. Almost missing the signal now. I hope I make it, and we lean in. Redlining at 6,500 RPM, and then Oh my goodness, almost crossing 100 kilometers per hour. So yes, this one does it really very nicely. That is a definite plus, because 0 to 100, very nice time. It does accelerate quite nicely. The 480cc motor producing close to 25 bhp of power and about, okay, jumpy, okay, done, and about 36 Nm of torque. Well, that is definitely very handy. You sit on the fifth gear at 90 to 100 kilometers per hour, and that does only 4000 rpm, which is a brilliant thing, bro. I am telling you, this motorcycle is a proper replacement for the Royal Enfield Classic 500, because it does ride really well. There are good amount of vibrations coming, like you can see this one vibrates. So yes, it is there, but then again, it's quite nice, yaar. The engine is just brilliant, but brakes, well, I'll test it once again and I'll check if it's like stopping power hai ki nahi. It's getting too hot, yaar. The motorcycle not, but the weather is. Nice, but brakes could have been a little bit better. They don't have the stopping power that you expect from it. Brakes lag the bike. It's there, but it's not there. It's just like that. The exhaust note also chumma ekdam. Sounds very nice. Sit on the fifth gear at 2,500-3,000 rpm. Not really where the torque hits, because it takes a pull. I'll show you an example. See the second gear torque. It wants to lift. Right at 3000 rpm it hits, which is maddening. The gear shifts are very crisp. Clutch भी एकदम मस्त है, हल्का है, not too heavy. मतलब वो Royal Enfield वाला feel आ रहा है बैठने में. Ergonomically, the way you sit, riding dynamic wise also, it's there. But then it's comfortable on the same side, yaar. I would actually love riding this motorcycle a little longer too. Like if I get a chance to do 500 kilometers in a day, I will not be complaining at all. And the way it is returning close to like 28 kilometers per liter, which is brilliant for a 500cc 15 liter का tank, almost 30 का माइलेज रखूँ तो 450 in a full tank, यार वाह. So ये corner है ना, it's always my stability check. If I get it or if I don't, the front is waving a little, जो मज़ा नहीं आ रहा है, but the rear is bouncing back. So cornering करने के लिए this motorcycle is not apt. Tires are gripping well. Maxxis का tires, 100 section front mounted on a 19 incher. Oh, almost. And 120 section I suppose on the 18 incher at the rear. So yes, the grip is decent. Not complaining. But then brakes could have been a little better, and dynamically this motorcycle could have been a little more sound. It is definitely a very good bike to tour. It is definitely a very amazing bike to go the distance, and it does look really nice. See, filtering to traffic also, no problems at all. कुछ दिक्कत नहीं है, एक भी टेंशन नहीं है. 205 kgs, you don't really feel it at all. There is one more complaint though. The ground clearance is just close to 150 mm, and for the wheelbase that this one has, there is a good chance that it might scrape on those unnecessary tall but thin speed breakers. So yeah, that is a bit of a problem. Otherwise, कोई टेंशन नहीं. So as I said earlier, the first question that came to my mind, whether this is the perfect replacement for Royal Enfield 500 Bullet or the Classic or whatever you call it, which is missing in the Indian market right now, because if you want to get the Classic 350 or something like that, you pay close to 270 or something like that. This is 3.5 lakhs on road Mumbai, and you'll have to spend about 70,000-80,000 more for the 650s. So this one fits in right in between here. So if you want a 500, you don't want to spend too much for the 650, and you want to be a little faster than the 350. QJ SRC 500, nice. अभी ऐसा मत बोलना कि चाइना के नाम पे गाड़ी है, चाइना को बैन करो, ये करो. QJ is a good brand. They are coming up with great motorcycles, and the way they have the amount of engines, like you can see the amount of 350s right here, right there. This one can take on, yaar. Plus you get alloys also, which is like standard. क्या चाहिए और? ट्यूबलेस टायर्स, alloys है, सब कुछ मस्त है, पंचर होने का टेंशन नहीं. क्या चाहिए और यार? नाम चेंज करना है, बैज हटा दो, क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है. ज़्यादा हो गया ना. ठीक है, चलो बाय.